the meeting of the Willmar City Council for April 20th. Roll call.
Mayor Calvin.
Here.
Councilmember Christensen.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Amon. Nelson.
Here.
Plowman.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Dockin.
Here.
Fagerly.
Here.
8 present, 1 absent.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Over the last, I'd just like to make a quick comment here before we get the meeting started. Over the last couple meetings, we've had a number of people in attendance, and one of the things that we've heard loud and clear is that our community wants us all to work well together. And as your mayor, I also want us to work well together, and I know all of you want to do the same thing. I've had conversations with all of you. So with that preference, is there any proposed additions or deletions to the agenda? Councilmember Nelson.
Yes, I have an item I'd like to add at the end for discussion.
Okay, you want to?
At that time.
Anything else? Okay. So we have one item added at the end of the meeting. Consent agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and second to approve the consent agenda items.
Calvin.
Councilmember Nelson.
Just a correction on the labor minutes. Do I need to, labor relations minutes, do I need to pull them, or?
No, just go ahead and state the correction.
It indicates that you called the meeting to order, and it was actually Councilmember Dockin that called the meeting to order.
Okay.
I don't know that it recognizes that it was a labor relations meeting first / city council, so.
Kevin, you have that?
Trying to locate it, sir.
Okay. Anything else? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Open forum. Do we have anybody for the open forum?
No, Mr. Mayor, no one signed up.
Okay. Finance Committee report. Councilmember Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Wow, we really are moving through this quickly. I'm not that far down on the agenda. Finance Committee met on April 13th at 4:45. There were no public comments. The next item on our agenda was to purchase and install a fiber link between City Hall and the fire station. Fire Chief Hendrickson explained to the committee that the fire station's current means of communication with the city's network is via a wireless link, which is prone to weather interruptions and has a limited service life. The most recent purchase of a new antenna for the fire station occurred in 2013, which cost $4,000, not including installation, and replaced a 3-year-old antenna. It was noted that the current tower that the antenna resides on is scheduled to be taken down in 2016 and be replaced with a new monopole by Verizon Wireless. During the installation, an alternative connection would need to be developed in order for staff to continue to conduct daily activities. The purchase and installation of fiber connection will eliminate the need to invest in a temporary connection, which will ultimately save money in the future. The total cost to purchase and install the direct fiber link between the City Hall and the fire station is estimated at $26,649, and that's being handled by MP Next Level. It's proposed that excess funds from the Fire Department 2014 operating budget be utilized for the expenditure. Following discussion, there was a motion made, seconded, and I'll introduce a resolution authorizing the mayor and city administrator to execute the agreement with MP Next Level to purchase and install the direct fiber link between City Hall and fire station in the amount of $26,649, utilizing excess funds from the 2014 Fire Department operating budget.
Second.
Motion's been, a resolution has been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin. Fagerly.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes.
The next item was Charter and Windstream monthly expense increase. IT Coordinator Ross Mabee reported to the committee that the elevator installed in the Blue Line Center has to have a dedicated phone line, and the expense for that was not planned in the 2015 budget. It's anticipated the annual cost for the phone line will be $633.12. Also, Charter Communications has recently notified the city that they will begin charging an additional $588.89 per month for the city's primary rate interface phone line. The city purchased the new voice over IP system a couple of years ago. The additional annual cost for the city for 2015 is anticipated at $6,477.79. The 2015 IT communication budget needs to be increased by $7,111 to accommodate these two unplanned operating expenditures that would be funded from the excess funds in 2014. Following discussion, there was a motion made, seconded, and passed, and I'll introduce a resolution authorizing the 2015 IT communications budget increase of $7,111 and that the excess funds from the 2014 budget be used for this increase.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Councilmember Christensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wasn't at the finance meeting. Could somebody explain what that additional fee is going to be, that monthly fee, why that went up? Is it because of the phone in the elevator, or is it what?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Anderson.
The phone in the elevator is pretty minor expense. The bigger expense was our new phone system that we put in a few years ago, and somehow or other they have forgotten to bill us and charge us for that. So they just realized that now, and we're not being charged back pay, but the increased cost of this voice over IP system that we put in. That's what the additional fee is for.
So this will be an annual expense?
This will be. Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Roll call.
Councilmember Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes.
Next item has to do with Microsoft licensing expense increase. IT Coordinator Ross Mabee reported to us that Microsoft Software Assurance licensing for server and devices is due every 3 years. Due to Microsoft licensing policy changes and additional users for the city, the recalculated total for the licenses was $9,206 higher than anticipated. Prorated over 3 years, the annual increase would be $3,069. It's being proposed that these funds come from the 2014 general fund surplus. Following discussion, there was a motion made, seconded, and passed, and I'll introduce a resolution authorizing the 2015 IT licenses tax budget increase of $3,069 and that the excess funds from the 2014 budget be utilized to cover that expense.
Second.
Resolution's been motioned and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
The next item is the intergovernmental agreement with Willmar Municipal Utilities. Staff explained that the current intergovernmental transfer agreement with Willmar Municipal Utilities expired at the end of December 2014. A new agreement has been negotiated for 2015, establishing an annual amount based on 4.9% of the utilities' audited net position as of January 1st of the previous year, but not to exceed a 4% increase in the amount of the intergovernmental transfer payment of the previous year. The previous agreement also reflected a 4.9% net position with the same annual increases. So in other words, what we're saying is the same terms for 2015 as what we'd had in 14. It was noted that other potential methods for calculating this payment will be researched for future agreements, and there have been a couple of discussions on that. The utilities has some ideas. We've visited with them, and we're ongoing, but that is for information. But there was a motion made, seconded, and passed, and I would introduce a resolution authorizing the mayor and city administrator to execute the agreement as presented.
Second.
The resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
The next item is the statutory liability coverage limits. This is something that we talk about every year. Staff presented details of the current statutory tort liability limits to the extent of the coverage purchased from the League of Minnesota Cities Insurance Trust. A decision must be made annually whether to waive the limits. If the city does not waive the statutory tort limits, an individual claimant would be able to recover no more than $500,000 on any claim to which the statutory tort limits apply. The total which all claimants would be able to recover in a single occurrence to which statutory tort limits apply would be limited to $1.5 million. If the city waives the statutory tort limits, the purchases excess liability coverage, a single claimant could potentially recover an amount up to the limit of the coverage purchased. The total which all claimants would be able to recover for a single occurrence to which the statutory tort limits apply would also be limited to the amount of coverage purchased, regardless of the number of claimants. Staff recommended not to waive the statutory tort limits at this time, and that's what we have done every year. Following discussion, there was a motion made, seconded, and passed, and I'll introduce a resolution stating the city will not waive the statutory tort limits.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes.
The next item is a change order for the Park Plan project. Community Ed and Rec Director Brizendine presented to us a request for an increase of $2,000 to the Willmar Parks and Recreation Master Plan contract with SRF Consulting Group, Incorporated. Staff felt it necessary to have a final meeting with SRF representatives to clarify and provide deeper explanation of the master plan results. The additional work was provided by SRF at a cost of $2,000, which increased the total contract to $49,950. Following discussion, there was a motion made, seconded, and passed, and I'll introduce a resolution authorizing the additional work performed by SRF Consulting Group, Incorporated, thereby increasing the contract to $49,950.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Councilmember Dockin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wonder if we could have some understanding of specifically what clarification SRF is going to provide us.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Anderson.
Okay, I'll go based on my memory from what we asked that question at the committee meeting. This was done just prior to their presentation to the City Council, and they had some additional questions and concerns and wanted some clarification and I think some additional information provided, and I don't know if there was more drawings made or anything like that, but they just wanted to make sure that they had all their ducks in a row. So it was just for additional information that was not included in the original budget.
Okay.
Additional discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes.
The next item is to reappropriate funds from the CIP to Public Works operating budget for crack sealing and seal coat project. Staff explained to us that the 2015 crack sealing and seal coating project quotes were received on April 7th, 2015, and they totaled $70,470. The 2015 Public Works operating budget included $65,000 for this project. Consequently, it's necessary to reappropriate unused 2015 capital funds for the purchase that had been intended for the purchase of 4 Kubota lawnmowers to cover the shortfall. Following discussion, there was a motion made, seconded, and passed, and I'll introduce a resolution reappropriating $5,470 from the 2015 capital projects purchase of 4 Kubota mowers to the 2015 Works operating budget for the additional amount needed for crack sealing and seal coating.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Resolution passes.
7.
The next item was the sale of the Zamboni. Staff explained that the Civic Center Zamboni was authorized for replacement in accordance with the Vehicle Replacement Program on September 2nd, 2014. Arena Warehouse has offered $27,500 to purchase the old Zamboni. It was noted that the dealer who sold the city the new Zamboni indicated the old one would be valued at about $12,000. So selling it for $27,500 is a respectable return on our initial investment. Staff is seeking approval for the sale of the old Zamboni and Charger to Arena Warehouse in the amount of $27,500 and to reallocate those funds to the 2015 Civic Center operating budget. Following discussion, there was a motion made, seconded, and passed, and I'll introduce a resolution authorizing the sale of the old Civic Center Zamboni and Charger to Arena Warehouse for $27,500 and that those funds be reallocated to the 2015 Civic Center operating budget.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes.
And finally, the sale of the 2005 International dump truck. Staff explained that the Public Works Department replaced the 2005 International dump truck in accordance with the Vehicle Replacement Program through the state contract as authorized by council action on January 20th, 2015. Willmar Municipal Utilities has offered $28,000 to purchase the old truck from the city of Willmar. It was noted that the dealer who sold the city the new truck indicated the old one would be worth about $26,000, so selling for $28,000 would be a respectable return on our investment. We did ask staff to find out what MUC was going to use that truck for. Did we get that information before I introduced the resolution?
I did not get that information.
I will tell you what we thought. The committee was told that we thought it would be used for hauling coal back and forth. There wasn't a big over-the-road thing, but we didn't know that to be a fact.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Anderson, I don't know the exact reason for that. I guess I didn't hear the question ahead of the meeting, so I could have found that information. My understanding is the trucks they currently have are in complete disrepair or really rough shape to the tune of rust on the frame, and so they were looking to upgrade one of their existing trucks.
Okay. Well, following discussion, there was a motion made, seconded, and passed, and I'll introduce a resolution authorizing the sale of the old 2005 International dump truck to the Willmar Municipal Utilities for $28,000.
Second.
Resolution's been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
The resolution passes.
Unless there's questions, I would move to file these minutes.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to file the minutes. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Resolution passes. Public Works, Public Safety Committee minutes. Councilmember Christensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We did meet on Tuesday, April 14th, 2015. Item number 1 was calling the meeting to order. Number 2 was public comments. There was nobody there to comment. So we went on to item number 3, which is our fire and police update. This is for information only. Our fire chief noted that there have been 89 calls for service so far this year, which is up from 75 at the same time last year. It's also noted that the city is included in the red flag warning at this time, and recreational fires are authorized with fire rings being at least 3 feet in diameter and 25 feet from any home. It must be attended at all times. The house fire at 1068 6th Street Southwest was discussed, with the fire being the 4th significant call so far this year. The committee noted it being severe weather advisory week, and a statewide tornado drill will take place, and did take place on April 16th, Thursday. Our Chief of Police, Mr. Felt, reported to us that the jail census for that day was 153. Of that, 89 inmates were from the Department of Corrections, 63 from Candiac County, and 1 from Swift County. Calls for service during the previous 2 weeks totaled 772, and the majority of those calls were traffic stops, public assists, and animal complaints. Total calls for service so far this year in the city of Willmar has been 4,896, which is a 201 calls ahead of last year. Next item is a resolution, has to do with CenterPoint Energy Community Partnership Grant application. Our police chief, Mr. Felt, presented to the committee for approval the submittal of a grant application to CenterPoint Energy for safety initiatives used in the community with a 50% match. The equipment identified for the grant includes 2 replacement automated external defibrillators, 2 advanced first responder kits for squad cars, and traffic safety vests for all uniformed personnel. The police department budget will accommodate the expenses if the grant is awarded. After some discussion, a motion was made, seconded to pass for the following resolution, and I will introduce the resolution to approve CenterPoint Energy Community Partnership Grant application submitted by the Willmar Police Department.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes.
Item number 5 was the outdoor warning siren purchase/replacement. This is also a resolution. Our fire chief presented for approval the purchase and replacement of an outdoor warning sign to replace the Thunderbolt siren located at 22nd Street Southwest and 15th Avenue Southwest across from Taunton Stadium. The current siren has been there since 1971 and is only partially operational. It does not rotate 360 degrees to allow proper notification of an approaching storm. This particular siren has required numerous repairs, and due to its age, parts are no longer available for it. The new siren is included in our 2015 CIP plan with a budget cost of $18,200. After discussion, a motion was made, seconded, and passed for the following resolution, and I will introduce that resolution to approve this purchase of a federal outdoor warning siren in the amount of $18,200.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
The resolution passes.
Item number 6 had to do with awarding crack sealing. This is also a resolution. Staff brought to the committee for approval the award of the crack sealing project number 1506 to Gleeden Enterprises, LLC, in the amount of $46,500, and authorize the signatures on the contract. The city requested quotes for the project, and 3 were received. The other quotes were from All Things Asphalt. They were at $52,500, and Farner Asphalt Sealers. They were at $65,500. Our 2015 Public Works budget included $65,000 for this crack sealing and seal coating projects, and $54,700 is being reappropriated for unused capital funds to cover the remainder of the $70,470 total cost. Once again, after some discussion, a motion is made and seconded, and I will approve the resolution to award the crack sealing project to Glidden Enterprises LLC in the amount of $46,500 and authorize signatures on the contract.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes. Just a question. It says that it's $70,470, and we have to cover the additional costs. And was it $46,500? Was that the amount?
The balance will be picked up in the next item, Mr. Mayor.
It's made up
Seal
next
quote.
item. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
Did we vote on that?
We did, yes.
Okay.
Passed. Yep.
Item number 7, seal coat bid award. This is also a resolution. Once again, staff brought to the committee for approval the award of the seal coating project number 1508 to Aztec Corporation in the amount of $23,970 and authorize signatures for the contract. The city requested quotes for the project, and 3 again were received. The other quotes were received from Caldwell Asphalt at $25,899 and Pearson Brothers Incorporated in the amount of $28,231. The 2015 Public Works budget included $65,000 for this crack sealing and seal coating project, and $54,70 is being reappropriated from unused capital funds to cover the remainder of that $70,470 total cost. After some discussion, a motion is made, seconded, and passed, and I will introduce the resolution to award the seal coating project to Aztec Corporation, that's ASTECH, in the amount of $23,970 and authorize signatures on the contract.
The resolution's been introduced and seconded.
No
Discussion.
second, sir.
Second.
Oh, you got a second? Okay.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
The
Item
resolution
number-
passes.
Item number 8 is declaring the cost to be assessed, order preparation of assessment roll, and call for assessment hearings on project number 1501-A. I've got a note here that says combine all 3 projects, but we need to break them. Is that correct?
8, 9, and 10 are all combined to 2 resolutions.
Okay. Staff brought to the committee for approval to declare costs to be assessed, order preparation of the assessment roll, and call for the assessment hearing for the city project number 1501-A on May 18th, 2015. The council ordered the Carolina Avenue Southwest, 21st Street Southwest, alley between City Hall and Auditorium, Swanson Field parking lot, and Public Works Facility parking lot reconstructions at the improvement hearing held March 2nd. Bids were opened on April 7th, and the amount received to perform the necessary improvements is known. Staff is preparing the accessible footage and the amount for each affected lot. Costs for the improvement must be declared, the preparation of an assessment roll ordered, and affected property owners notified of their assessment amount in accordance with the requirements of Chapter 429 State of Minnesota statutes. After discussion, a motion is made, seconded, to pass for the following, and I will introduce the resolution to declare the cost to be assessed, order preparation of the assessment roll, and call for the assessment hearing for project 1501-A on May 18th, 2015.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Well, Mr. Mayor, just to add clarity, we have one resolution prepared
For all 3?
1501, 1501-3A, and 1503B. They're all identical, just small subsets of the project.
Okay.
And this was at the request of council last year to break them down into more bite-sized pieces, correct?
I don't know.
We certainly
They can all be done
don't.
under one resolution. It's probably simpler.
It's simpler for the bonding to have one resolution, and at the assessment hearing, the mayor normally calls out comments by street anyway. And it's state aid street that breaks out some of them with a different project number.
Thank you. Do you want to just read all three of them then, and then we can just do it at one time?
Sure.
Okay. Do 9 and 10.
I'll withdraw my motion.
I'm fine.
Okay. Let's see. We're on item number 9 then.
Yep.
15, project number 1503-A. Staff brought to us for approval to declare costs. Pardon me?
Just read the streets.
Okay, the streets are going to be Trout Avenue Southeast, Candy Avenue Southwest overlays at the improvement hearings held March 2nd. Bids again were open on April 7th. Project number 1503-B is call for assessment hearing, city project number 1503-B on May 18th, same date. Bids were opened on April 7th. The amount received, perform the necessary improvements is known. Now I'll make a motion. A resolution declaring the cost to be assessed, order preparation of the assessment roll, and call for the assessment hearing for project number 1503A, 1501A, and 1503B.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes.
Item number 11 is
You want to just call for the assessment hearing then?
the assessment hearing wasn't part of that resolution?
That's a separate resolution,
It's a
right? Two
calling for the
resolutions.
separate.
Yeah. Just call for the assessment hearing on those
Okay.
projects.
I'll call for the assessment hearing then, or move. Is that a resolution or motion?
That is a resolution also.
Okay, I'll move the resolution to call for the assessment hearing for projects 1501A, 1503A, and 1503B.
Second.
That's May 18th, correct?
7:01, May 18th.
7:01 p.m.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
The resolution passes.
I'm going to lose my voice here pretty soon. Item number 11 is accepting the bid and awarding contract for utility construction project 1502. This is also a resolution. This will be two resolutions, actually. Staff brought to the committee to award the project to Land Pride Construction in the amount of $88,933, adopt the budget, and authorize signatures on the contract for project 1502. The project includes sanitary sewer lining on Benson Avenue Southeast, east through Highway 12 water main relocation, and fire hydrant replacements at Lakeland Drive Northeast and Airport Drive Southwest. 4 bids were received. They were opened on April 7th. Land Pride Construction, their bid was $88,933. Quam's was $93,117.50. Dunnick's was $108,685, and Breitbach was $117,214. The low bid received is about 6% above the engineer's estimate. After some discussion, again, the resolution was made, and I will introduce a resolution to accept the bid from Land Pride Construction the amount of $88,933. Adopt the budget and authorize signatures on the contract.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Councilmember Dockin.
Has this company ever worked for the city?
Public Works Director Christensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Dockin, yes, in fact, they just recently did, last fall, did some work at the airport, some drainage work for us. They've done a number of jobs in the city limits, and as far as I know, done a great job.
Thank you.
Additional discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes.
The next resolution is to award the bid to Land Pride Construction the amount of $88,933, and I will introduce that resolution.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes. Only 2 to go.
Item number 12 is an agreement with the state for motorcycle skills testing, a site for that. Once again, staff brought to our committee for approval the state agreement with the Department of Public Safety for a motorcycle skills test course in the city right-of-way. The city first received a request in 2005 from the state to enter into a lease agreement allowing the Department of Public Safety to use an area of land on the north end of Transportation Drive for the term of 5 years for the testing of motorcycle license applicants. In 2010, the lease was amended, and again 2012 to allow an additional 2 years on the lease consecutively. The current amendment replaces the terms commencing May 1, 2015 through April 30th, 2020. The committee discussed the testing site not interfering with traffic from the school or the civic center. Again, after some discussion, a motion was made, seconded and passed, to approve the state agreement with the Department of Public Safety for a motorcycle skills course in the city right-of-way on the north end of Transportation Drive, and I would introduce that motion.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes.
The 13th item on our agenda, the Westwood Court Lift Station engineering and an agreement with CRS. Once again, staff brought to the committee the award of the design and construction of related service project for the Westwood Court lift station to Bolton and Mink. Staff reviewed 2 proposals, one from Bolton and Mink and one from Bolig Engineering. This is for the professional services of the Westwood Court Lift Station, taking into consideration a technical score and a price score. Preliminary budget for the project was approved at $1,140,000 by the council in February of this year, and PFA funding will be pursued. After some discussion, motion was made second for the pass, and I will introduce the resolution to award the professional services contract for the Westwood Court Lift Station to Bolton and Mink.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes.
Our last item on the agenda had to do with miscellaneous, with cooperative construction agreement. This is also a resolution. Staff brought to the committee the Kennewick County and City of Willmar Cooperative Construction Agreement for the County Office Building West Lot 15 Improvement Project. The agreement details the city reimbursing the county for 50% of the cost, not to exceed $90,000, in exchange for 12 to 20 public spots, parking spots in the lot. This is the county building over and across the street from Burlington Northern. We're going to redo the parking lot on the west side of that. Once again, after discussion, the motion is made and is seconded to approve the cooperative construction agreement with Kennewick County for the county office building west lot, and I will introduce that motion.
Second.
Resolution has been introduced and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
The resolution passes.
Just on a side note, it was noted that our staff is working with the Willmar Downtown Development as it pertains to installing utilities into 313 4th Street Southwest. And I believe, is that the hub?
Yes.
Correct? Okay. That was just a note of on the end. If there's no questions or comments, I would move to file these minutes as stated.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to file the minutes. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All same sign. Motion passes. Community Development Committee report for April 16th. Yep, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to catch up here. This computer's just having issues today. I don't know if it's my finger or what. Councilmember Fagerly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Community Development met on Thursday, April 16th, 4:45. Item 2 is public comments, and there was no one to speak to us. Item 3, mobile home park violations. The committee discussed an increasing number of violations at Regency West Mobile Home Park, primarily related to additions to the mobile homes. Photos of some of the violations were reviewed and discussed. Most violations relate to the additions being constructed without permits and not meeting the current code standards. The involvement of Candiac County through the licensing process was discussed. The issue of liability was raised. As the violations have been discovered, it was assumed that the city has some liability to pursue corrections. Also discussed were possible ways to involve the park owners, possibly through the issuance of nuisance citations. Following discussion, it was a consensus of the committee that staff focus on those violations directly related to health and safety violations, and that nuisance citations to the owners be issued when appropriate. It was also suggested that a Minnesota Department of Health opinion be sought relative to the overall park conditions, including the licensing process. Staff was also asked to contact the county and ask them to get involved, making sure that the licensing requirements are being met. If there's any questions, you can ask Bruce Peterson.
Any discussion or questions at this point?
Development Director.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, item 4, Willmar Y project. Staff provided the committee with an update on the Willmar Y project application process, as well as the recent trip to Washington, D.C. to lobby for the project. It was noted that the pre-application was completed and ready for submittal, to be followed shortly by the full application. Numerous letters of support from a variety of interested local parties have been obtained. Those groups include Willmar Police and Fire, Rice Ambulance Service, Willmar Lakes Area Chamber of Commerce, and Minnesota Development Commission. It was also suggested that the staff also seek a letter from the County Emergency Services Director. Material used by staff in their Washington visit was reviewed and discussed. The material very clearly tells the story of the Y project and provides a substantial amount of supporting evidence. The committee discussed the possible inclusion of project funding in the governor's proposed 2015 bonding bill. It was also noted that if the project was awarded funding both in the bonding bill and through the Tiger Grant, the construction could begin in 2016. Staff is working with local legislators to include an application for funding for the spur track in the 2016 bonding bill also.
Anybody have questions on that at all? Councilmember Dockin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to thank staff for preparing this really nice graphic. I mean, you can't understand the why concept, and maybe we could ask Mr. Peterson just to step us through that, you know.
Planning and Development Director Peterson, would you care to walk us through the process here?
Mayor Kelvin, members of the council, the drawing on the board shows the location of the proposed Willmar Y project in relationship to major highways and features around the community. You can see Highway 12 coming in from the upper left, and you can see Highway 23 going down to the lower left. And that is really the connection that the Y is intended to serve. The overpasses will be on Highway 12 and at Highway 40. And the spur, as proposed, would feed into the west end of our new industrial park, just north of Highway 40 on the west edge of town.
Councilmember Dockin, does that answer your questions?
Yeah. And also, Mr. Peterson, There'll be a double track going east and west at some point in time?
The double track will be running north and south. Where you see the orange line for the Y, that will actually be a double track, so you can have a complete unit train off on the siding, switching crews and engines, and you'll still have the main line on the Y opened up for through traffic.
And a complete train has about how many cars to it? About
120 to 125 in a unit train.
It's a lot of cars.
That's a long length. That's over a mile.
Thank you.
Bruce, could you explain a little bit where you feel the process was after your meeting? I know I listened to you on open mic, but a little bit about how you feel that your meeting went, and then where the project stands as far as Burlington Northern, some of their comments.
Sure. If we could get you to scroll ahead to the next flight. This is some of the graphics and the materials that we took with us on our trip to D.C. We had very good discussions with legislators' offices, but I think the most important contact and meeting we held out there was with the U.S. Department of Transportation. We were able to meet with the people that actually make the grant application reviews and provide the comments to the Secretary of Transportation. They were able to point out some areas where we were deficient in our grant application and suggested areas where we could improve. They were very optimistic with regard to the project, and we just left there feeling that we have a really good chance for funding. The state funding is still a little bit up in the air. The governor would like to see it funded, at least a portion of it, through bonding in 2015. It's my understanding that the balance of the state share would come from DOT operations. So the real question is, if we get the Tiger grant, will the state funds in fact be there? And we've been led to believe that they will, because this project is a major priority of the governor's.
Thank you. Just as another point of reference, as the mayor, I did go down and speak on a governor's press conference on this particular issue. And so on 2 different times I've actually been down there talking about this. I've talked both with our senator and our representative about this project. Both feel very strong about the project. And I know that Bruce did a lot of work with Representative Baker on this also, as far as bringing him up to speed on where the issue was. So I guess I would just encourage the community, for one part, but also the council, to make contact. If this project is going to be happen here, we're going to need full support of the council and also the community. A couple of nice things about this is that currently the numbers of trains actually coming into Willmar would decrease by 7 to 10 trains is what they're telling us right now. That's about 50% of the trains that come into Willmar that wouldn't have to come into Willmar. Doesn't mean they're going to reduce the train traffic by that much, but that's the current numbers. The other thing is that with our issue on train noise, a lot of the switching that's currently happening wouldn't have to happen with this project. But it also is a safety concern in that it'll allow those hazardous cars to kind of go around Willmar rather than to come in through Willmar, and I'm sure our fire chief likes hearing that, the less those hazardous materials we have actually coming into our community, the better it is. One of the risks potential risks that I've heard about with this is that more traffic may then come this way, because that will reroute it out of the metro areas. And if you've been listening to what's going on at the legislature, that's one of the things they're talking about is rerouting train traffic. I was asked to make a comment on that to the Star Tribune, and I guess I just feel that with the train traffic going around the west side of Willmar rather than through town, it's going to decrease our risk. So I spoke in favor of that. So I kind of think that gives everybody an update where we're at on it. So Councilmember Christensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Would this mean a potential loss of jobs as far as employees, railroad employees, due to them being able to bypass and not come into the yard and switch?
No, actually we met with Go Rail. I think that was last week, right, Bruce? We met with Go Rail, and they're actually looking at expanding jobs in Willmar. The railroad is actually, and I don't remember that number. I didn't bring that information with me. I thought it was 7 to 13 job openings they have currently in Willmar right now. You remember that number? I don't remember it.
I don't recall the exact number that they talked about adding, but the crews that are currently switching in our switch yards will be changing trains on the bypass. So it just relocates some of the activity from downtown to the west edge of town.
Okay, and then the right-of-way that the city's, you got $336,000 in, is some of that in kind, or is any of it attached to the right-of-way that was, the way we're going to do that bypass, and I think it's 72 or somewhere around there? Is that anywhere near that right-of-way that was already done?
No, it would be on the east side of County Road 55. The bypass right-of-way that you're referring to is the old Highway 12 bypass that MnDOT purchased back in the 70s. This bypass right-of-way that the city has pledged would be part of the old airport property.
Okay, some of it is in kind then?
Yeah, there's no out-of-pocket cost to the city. It's simply right-of-way.
Okay, super. Thank you.
And then, Bruce, if you can just comment on the shovel readiness of the project.
Okay. Good point, Mr. Mayor. One thing we were able to impress upon the people in Washington was that none of the money that's being sought for grant dollars or any of the bonding money is going into any engineering and design or the soft costs. This project is nearly completely designed. BNSF has already taken options on some of the property, and once the state money and the Tiger grant is awarded, it will be used all for hard dollars, all for construction dollars. And the agencies typically prefer to see their money go into construction rather than design.
Thank you for that update. And also, it's important to note that the spur is included on, when you look at your drawing, the spur is included on that. That's a big deal for our industrial park. So it gives us tremendous marketability of that area. Of course, it doesn't bring it in through the industrial park to connect it, but it brings it to the industrial park so we have access to it. So if we do have someone that wants that service, they can then complete those services, as I understand it. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Councilmember Fagerly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know it's a great project, and I hope we get the funding, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, because I remember when we had a senator here for the waste treatment plant and said we were approved for $15 million, and we never got it. So I just hope we get this.
Councilmember Fagerly, I share your suspicions. That was an interesting case where we had a senator from one party get us the authorization, and then the senator from the other party would not seek the appropriation. So we got hung up there. I don't anticipate we'll have that issue here. We've gotten support from both sides, and we don't anticipate that there will be any political issues with this.
All right, that'd be good. Thank you.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Item 5, the former airport historical matters. Staff informed the committee that the interpretive display at the new airport was in the process of being erected, and a bronze plaque commemorating the old beacon at the former airport was being installed. And that will honor the Rice family and his contribution to aeronautics. And if there's no further questions, I move to file the minutes.
Second. Motion been made and seconded to file the minutes. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. Motion carries. City Auditorium Gymnasium floor.
Mayor Calvin, members of the council, I'd like you to leave the tablet for a moment and direct your attention to the document left on your tabletop on the paper copy. It begins with the council action report that is now outdated. At the time we uploaded this, we were under the assumption that Johnson Flooring would not get us a quote on the tongue and groove channel system that we currently have. And they subsequently responded to our RFP, and so now we have two proposals to fix the floor. I feel more confident about this one. The first one, 2 weeks ago, which council took action, but we'd like to undo that action in this resolution, but they quoted 88 square feet of repair work last time, and staff could see more than that. They both equally have remeasured the damaged floor in the auditorium on the west side and come up with 300 square feet. And so now I have a bid from FLR Sanders, which is the high bid, so I'll direct you to the Johnson Floor Sanding. There are two bids. Just to repair the gym floor for the 300 square foot of damage on channel lock clip system, lacing the floorboards into the damaged ones appropriately, is $6,100. The second bid is for the complete sand and finish the gym floor and repair the areas that total 300 square feet. As you can see, above the oil-based quote of $18,550, there's a repair area of $5,200. It is the same price effect of the $6,100 repair. It's just that the $5,200 is the repair without the sand and seal, and then the sand and seal, that extra $900, is because he's sanding and sealing the whole gym floor. So that low bid of Johnson Floor Sanding for $18,550 matches the action the council took last time, properly repairing 300 square feet, lacing the bad cupped boards in to give us a floor that we had prior to the damage. It is staff's recommendation that we take the oil-based repair bid and complete floor sanding for $18,550.
Council? We need a motion and a second first.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move staff's recommendation.
Motion been made and seconded. Councilmember Christensen. Is that what you were going to do? I'm sorry. It's Councilmember Anderson.
You know, there was some discussion last time about the subfloor, that could be a problem. We wouldn't necessarily know until such time as we peeled some of this out of there. Has there been any further testing done on the subfloor?
There has a little bit, and the comment I got from my contact with Johnson Flooring is that is the discrepancy between his initial review of the floor and bidding only 88 square feet of cupped flooring to the second time when he saw 300 feet of cupped flooring. That moisture that was there and then surfaced and cupped additional boards. And so now they believe they can see the total damage in all those areas. So I believe there is no subfloor problem after they have reviewed that, and they're pretty sure they've both zeroed into the total damage of that. And they're confident, but not 100%.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Councilmember Nelson.
And just a clarification, I know I asked the other night, so have we filed an insurance claim, or where are we at with the water damage, since the auditorium was closed and locked and only the contractors were inside? I'm just curious with where we're at with that.
We have the performance bond company inquiries on my desk right now, and we will notify them that we have this issue. And tomorrow we'll contact the architect because we have contractual things and arbitration inside the architectural agreement. And so there's both avenues. And our standard insurance, and they can investigate. We'll be exploring all the avenues guided by the architect as how to handle this for the $6,100 effort, not the total cost of our choice here.
Councilmember Nelson?
Just a clarification again, so what happens when they tear the floor up if the subfloor needs to be done? Do we have to wait and do another bid, or what?
Well, we won't do any more bids. The low responsible bidder will solve the problem for us. it'll take us, the project will be done before we finalize the performance bond or arbitration or insurance matters. So we will have that total cost by that time.
Other discussion? This would be a resolution then, Kevin?
Yes, sir. Enter the contract, have the mayor and city administrators.
The resolution has been introduced and seconded. All roll call.
Councilmember Fagerly.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
The resolution passes. This evening is Gary Hendrickson's last council meeting, I think, our Chief Hendrickson. So I just want to thank you for your service to our city and wish you well as you move back towards the metro, working in Brooklyn Center. And thank you for the service that you've given to our community. Appreciate that. So, Councilmember Nelson, you had an item that you wanted to add?
Yes. I am just asking for follow-up on the item that I added for discussion last on April 6th. That was in the minutes of our meeting this time, just simply asking for a clarification where you had, when you visited with me, had indicated you were willing to share both emails and discussion onto how we got to a separation agreement. And I'm still hearing very loud and clear that this community wants to know who, what, when, where, why. And I also think they have a right to know who was involved in the email that put a stop to our retreat. And so I'm simply asking for follow-up on the item that was in the minutes from last meeting.
Okay. I think that at the last meeting, the city attorney clearly stated that would be a council action, that the emails that I have had that are out there are protected under attorney-client privilege. And so I don't believe that answer has changed. And so if the council chose to make a motion to release that, I am willing to do that. I told you that at the meeting. I told you that. I said that at the last meeting. So if that motion was made and passed, then we could do that.
Just a clarification, because you indicated you were going to have a conversation with them about what emails might be able to be released. I was not asking for the confidential ones that we had released, but emails that had come from council members or discussion that had taken place with council members, previous to this. So, again, I'm asking for that. I'm willing to offer a motion to have those emails released if that's what it's going to take, but I'm still asking for clarification because I believe the minutes clarified that you were going to visit with Robert Scott regarding what could be released and not. And you also had shared with me about meetings and discussions, and I'm still hearing people want to know, and I think this community has a right to know. And so if you're saying I need to make a motion to do that, then I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to release the emails as approved by the city administrator. I'm sorry, but as approved by the city attorney. There's been a motion and seconded for that. Discussion. Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would be I don't know what, I haven't seen the emails, so, so I guess I don't know what I'm voting on. So, I wouldn't support the motion without seeing the emails first.
Councilmember Nelson?
I'm just, if we haven't done anything wrong, if everybody sitting at this table hasn't done anything wrong, then what are we afraid of sharing this information with the community? everything we do as council members, any emails we share are public data. It's public information. So I'm not sure what we're hiding behind. What tells me is that there's something that we are hiding behind. So I just think that we all need to clarify this. And you know what? What's to hide?
I'll answer that question, and I'll watch the city attorney to see if he gives me the hand to be careful. But basically, I don't think, if there's some thought that the city administrator did something wrong, that's not the issue here. I mean, I think that there was clearly a difference on where we as a city were going. And I think that is the reason why that the vote happened. The vote happened, a month ago, a month and 4 days ago. And, I'm Councilmember Nelson, I've stated it to you. I've shared with you what I can share with you. I've told you everything. You know that. And at this point, I personally don't think that the emails are going to be revealing, but I guess that'll be up to the community to decide, I guess. Councilmember Nelson.
We voted on a separation agreement.
Right.
We had the information on a separation agreement, but this community still has no idea why did you do the separation agreement? Why was it done? What was happening from members of this council that brought us to do a separation agreement? That's what I think is there. It's not about performance, because if there was performance, we would have done something different.
Right.
It is about something that went on with this council that led to a separation agreement, and I think the community has a right to know that. I don't know what we're hiding behind.
Councilmember Plowman.
This is maybe a point maybe directed for the city attorney. Is my understanding correct that if we were to disseminate any emails or communications, if anything in there could be construed as defamatory in nature, could the city be looking at further possible damages in terms of financial?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Plowman, I would like to give you a simple answer to that question, but I think I'm going to have to explain things a little more in depth. And I don't know exactly what emails we're talking about. There are several possibilities. There's a possibility of emails only among council members. Those are generally public unless they dealt with performance issues by the city administrator. If they did, they're considered private data, and the city just is prohibited from releasing them, regardless of any motion taken tonight. If they didn't touch on performance issues, they'd generally be public, if they exist, and I don't know if there are such emails or not. There are some emails that involved me, where I gave advice to the mayor or other council members. Those are generally protected by the attorney-client privilege, and that's something we talked about last meeting. The privilege is held by the city council. Any member of the council, I think, has a right to know about those emails, but they are not public unless the council, a majority of the council, votes to waive the privilege and make them public. To the extent there is any, I'm sorry, to back up, any emails, whether they're attorney-client privilege or not, that talk about performance issues with the administrator just can't be released. And the council can't take a motion to change their classification, their private data. The city can't release them. Beyond that, I don't know that there's going to be any emails that could be public, that could be released, that would get the city in any trouble. So to the extent there are emails outside the realm of private data on the city administrator that nonetheless discussed the logistics or why a motion was made to approve a separation agreement, they could be public, and they would, I think, by definition, not result in any exposure to the city. Having said that, I don't know if there are any such emails.
You haven't seen them all?
I haven't, no.
Can I follow up with one more?
Councilman Paulman, go ahead.
In your legal expertise, do you recommend that we make emails public?
I don't generally recommend that the council waive privilege on any confidential advice I give the council. I think it exists for a reason, but again, it's not for my benefit, it's for the council's benefit. So if the council decides for whatever reason that in this specific case the community would benefit from seeing those, it has the right to waive privilege on those. Again, even if you waive privilege, there could still be emails that just can't be released under the Data Privacy Act.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Fagerly.
Mr. Scott, we can't talk about past evaluation sessions then?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep, that would be private data.
And I think the last one, all of us were in there except Councilman Plowman because he defeated DeBleek.
And myself.
Now, and the mayor. Now, everyone that's at this table, if you remember what happened, I think you'll understand. And for you two to say that you didn't know anything was going on, that Thursday before the meeting, you were both on the phone for an hour with the administrator. So what did you guys talk about?
Mayor Kelvin?
Because we have a new phone system, and it keeps track of phone numbers coming in, going out, and how long you've been talking on it. So you guys knew something was up.
Councilmember Nelson.
First of all, I'd like to know how you knew about the phone records that are at City Hall. But I'm more than willing. I don't know what the emails are. I can tell you the mayor is the person who said to me, I am prepared to release the emails.
I said that. I said that last.
I don't want to hide behind the emails. I don't want to hide. I'm more than willing to tell you about my discussion on Thursday. Actually, it was on Friday, probably. I'm more than willing to do that. And that's exactly, you are referring to exactly what this community needs to know what went on. And if we are going to hide behind emails, let's hide behind emails. Then let's just ask the mayor. He has been visiting with people in the community. He has been sharing information, and I think it's time for that information to be made public. Let's do the who, what, when, where, why, and be big enough to say what went on. And let's go back to the public comment, the public statement that was made after the administrator's last performance appraisal. That's the information that's public to this community. We're hiding behind something.
Councilmember Christensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Once again, we're going nowhere. If you find yourself in a hole, you got to throw the shovel away. And we're just digging this thing deeper and deeper and deeper. We need to toss the shovel. We made a motion was made, seconded, passed to accept the separation agreement. 5 votes in favor. 5 is the council as a whole. Always has been, always will be. Tonight it would be 4 votes, 4 out of 7, because we're missing 1 person. I go back to what I stated the last meeting. We've decided many times, at least once or twice a year, that when a vote is taken by the council, we stand behind that vote, whether you're on the losing side or the winning side. And again, I'll state that I would bet 95% or better of our votes are unanimous. 7-0, 8-0, 6-0. We need to quit making us in the city look terrible by throwing gasoline on the fire that isn't even there. What's done is done. Let's move forward. I don't get it. I don't get why a council member would say, we got to have the emails. It's part of the discussion of the motion, Mr. Mayor. It's part of the discussion. I mean, we're going nowhere. And there's a reason for attorney-client privileges between you and the attorney and any council member and the attorney. And as he just stated, he doesn't advise breaking or making those emails public. There's a reason for them. Just like there's a reason for data privacy. You all realize that data privacy does not affect the council, only government employees. Now, I wonder who set that up. We have to be transparent and open in everything we do. All of our emails that go to through the city website that's public knowledge. If Ms. Nelson wants to see that, she can see the emails that were sent. You had some exchanges with the, what was it, the retreat.
Yep.
There was some on there, and one of them went public. I think you put it in the paper, or somebody did.
Yeah, we released it to the public.
Yeah, there was Central Tribune. So there's nothing to indict somebody through those emails. I speak against the motion. I mean, we're just dragging up old dirt.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I agree.
Councilmember Anderson, then Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, I think maybe the email, maybe that's a misnomer, but that was something that you said could be done to help clarify things, and maybe that's
what I was trying to do.
Yeah, and maybe that's the wrong venue. Maybe there's a different venue that would explain some of these things. I don't know, but I'm just concerned that, you know, that was put out there and now it's taken away from us, and so it just makes you wonder what's there. The attorney recommends that we don't do anything with it, that we don't waive our privilege on that. That concerns me. So, enough.
Councilmember Nelson.
The separation agreement was the motion. It was approved. It was accepted. Charlene is gone. I'm not trying to deal with that. I am trying to get to what happened that caused us to have a separation agreement. We could have terminated without cause. If something was wrong, we could have terminated with cause. We did neither. Somehow we arrived at a separation agreement that she did not ask for. And I think we need to clarify. And you talk about digging a hole. Well, I've described it as what's going on at this table as an infection. And it's below the surface. And you might be able to heal the infection on the surface, but until we deal with what is below the surface, it is not going to go away. And I fear for what we are going to do next, and I think we all need to be held accountable to this community for how we got where we did. And that's what I'm asking for. And if you can't do the emails, then do a statement. You talked about conversations. You talked about conversations with the city attorney that council members had with you. Help this community understand what went on. And the 5 people who voted for this, be brave enough to speak up why you did it. Don't hide behind the motion for separation. It's a done deal.
Councilmember Nelson, at the last meeting, when Councilmember Dockin made a comment, I said that I was the one that went to Charlene with the idea of a separation agreement. I said that at the last meeting to Councilmember Dockin. I'm the one that went to the city administrator for that. The previous meeting to that, I stated that I had had conversations with council members that led me to believe that the vote was going to be taken that day. That is the reason I went and had the conversation with the city administrator. That's the reason I did that. So I'm the one that went to the city administrator, but I went to the city administrator with the understanding that there was a potential of a vote happening that night. That's why I did it. Councilmember Nelson.
So why are you not willing to say who talked to you and said this was going to happen? Why did you feel that there was enough votes that you took the next steps? Why are you not willing to put forth those names to this community? And it's no different than the email that you put out listing multiple items of you being accused of recording phone conversations and someone doing research that you were violating separation of church and state. Why are you not willing to share the names with the community?
Mr. Mayor?
The reason I'm going to answer the question first. The reason is that I believe, the question was asked of me, I believe the reason I am trying to move this city forward, I understand that we've got issues that have to be dealt with. I want to get the city to the next step. That's my goal. I want us to get there. I understand in conversations that you and I have had, numerous conversations, is that it's your opinion that these have to be released. I just want us to move forward. That's what I want us to do. I want to get this behind us. That's what I want to have happen. Councilmember Christensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Once again, I'll refer to our parliamentary procedure book. We all voted that we would follow that particular book. And we go to our retreat, we're going to read through this thing, and we're going to understand what can and can't be done. When a motion is made and seconded, we have a discussion. All discussion is the motion is on the floor right there. It isn't up here. It isn't you. It isn't me. It isn't any council person. When a council person asks you why, they're supposed to be directing their questions and all discussion at the motion. That's all we're supposed to do. If you're either for the motion or you're against it, and you speak why. You don't say, why did the mayor do this? Why didn't you do that? You told me that this is going to happen. You don't do that in discussion. You're either for it or against the motion.
Okay.
And you say why. I'm against the motion.
Next point.
Mayor Calvin.
Okay, well, I'm trying to move us to the motion on the floor. Councilmember Nelson.
I agree with you that we need to find a way to move this community forward. But I think this is a key piece to how we move forward. I think it's time for the people at this table to fess up to what went on behind the scenes so that we can move this community forward instead of hiding behind the motion, hiding behind the parliamentary procedures book. Let's just be honest with where we were at so that we don't do this again.
She's not talking about the motion.
Other questions on the motion? Councilmember Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, I agree that we want to move the community forward, and maybe there's a way that we can do that we can all agree on and try to move ahead as a unit. And we're hearing that the emails apparently don't have everything in it that maybe what we think they had or something. I don't know. Maybe there's a way that we could ask the mayor to make a statement at some particular time and then just be done and move on. And you've alluded to parts of it tonight. Maybe it could be a more inclusive statement, and then that'll take care of it. I'd like to see something where we can all agree on a resolution to this and move forward.
I think that depending upon the outcome of this vote, there will be more clarity as to what we can have prepared. Councilmember Nelson.
Just one more comment. Councilmember Christensen made the comment that all of our emails are public, that we are aware of that. I believe there is a right for anyone to ask for emails with that. So I'm going to refer back to the city attorney. As long as there is not performance issues in these emails or those types of things, why can't these emails be public?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Nelson, generally that's correct. Any correspondence you have through email or otherwise as council members that relates to city business is generally defined as public data. There are any number of exceptions to that general rule. The prime one that we're talking about now being any emails that talk about performance issues of a city employee. Those would be private personnel data. Also private would be attorney-client privileged emails. So generally, yes, all your emails are public, but there are exceptions.
Councilmember Christensen.
Exceptions.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This particular motion, which I am against, I guess I would refer to it as very divisive. This is not helping any unity in the council, any of this, going back in the history and trying to find out why. I think everybody up at this table, with the exception of Mr. Palman, knows the answer, as was stated earlier by Councilman Fager. to continue to divide us will not unify us, will not move us forward. And I know that you're all for moving us forward, and this motion does not move this council forward, not in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Additional discussion. Councilmember Nelson. I'm going to be cutting off this. Well, no, I'm not.
I just want to clarify, I don't agree that everyone at this table agrees or understands why. Now, maybe you do, and maybe Councilmember Fagerly does, but I don't believe everyone at this table agrees with those comments.
Okay. Additional discussion. Councilmember Anderson.
I just wonder, I want to go back to this. Could we all agree that the mayor would just make a statement, forget the emails, forget that, and just request that the mayor make a statement at the next meeting or sometime? Just make a statement about what went on and not get into the emails, because I honestly don't know that the emails are going to provide anything. We don't know what's in them. We're only going based on what the mayor had said was he was willing to release them, and there may or may not be anything there. But I mean, I'm just wondering if the council would be comfortable if the mayor could just make a statement at the next meeting. Is that something that we could agree on?
I think you have a motion on the table at this point.
I know. I'm trying to, but I'm just trying to get away to move us forward, and yet understanding the concerns of the community.
Mayor Calvin.
Councilmember Nelson.
I made the motion because I was simply asking for the same thing that you're asking. The mayor indicated he was willing to do that, and I think it's time for the community to still hear the who, what, when, where, why. If it doesn't come from the emails, it still needs to come from the mayor. He indicated he was willing to release the emails, so thus the request to release the emails. If he's willing to do a press release or a public statement or whatever, I just think this community is not going to stop until they have an understanding. And I also think it is part of how we move forward from here and what we do next. We each need to be held accountable for what we say and what we do. We have to have an understanding of the data privacy laws. We have to have understanding of a lot of different things. But I made the motion because that's what I was told. I don't need the emails if the mayor is willing to release the information that was in them. You know, I'm not asking for confidential data privacy information. I don't want to violate the separation agreement. That is not my goal. My goal is for this community to understand what brought us to the point of drawing up a separation agreement. And I think that we have a responsibility to them to do that. And if that's the mayor's responsibility, then I will ask the mayor to do that.
And again, I'll tell you what I said earlier before you made the motion, is that I was told that there may be a vote coming for a termination, and I felt it was in the best interest of the city to have a separation agreement instead.
Then just attach the names to that process and how this went down. How did you know that the votes were there?
Mr. Mayor,
who told you they were going to do this?
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. None of this is directed toward the motion. But I do have a comment.
So is your comment going to be bringing us closer to a vote?
Sure.
I mean, I want to get us to a vote. That's what I want to get done tonight.
My comment
I don't want to sit here and continue to talk about this, because in my opinion, we need to get this behind us.
Yes,
so
we do.
Go ahead.
This is a bad motion. I'm against it, but it's very divisive, and it'll just lead to more editorials in the paper, more bashing, more backstabbing. We don't need that. I would encourage you to vote no, anybody in this. And for that, I'll call for the question. I'll call to end the debate.
So motion to call the question. Do I need a second to that, Kevin?
Yes, sir, and two-thirds vote.
Is there a second to calling the question? In absence of that, I do not hear a motion to call the question. Additional discussion. All those in favor of the motion? You want to read the motion back to us, Kevin, so we understand it?
Well,
How many pages do you have to go?
I just have the motion by Nelson, seconded by Anderson, to release emails as approved by the city attorney.
Okay. All those in favor? Simple motion.
Correct.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed to the motion signify by saying aye.
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 The motion fails.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, no. We got meetings.
We have
Meetings.
meeting dates yet?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Meeting dates, Finance Committee?
Finance Committee will meet on Monday, April 20th at 4:45.
Public Works, Public Safety.
I've got April 28th. You said 20th?
Yeah, that's today.
Yeah.
That's
April
today.
27th.
Oh, that's today.
We missed it.
Pardon me. April 27th. I put all the dates down for this week. I'm sorry, the 27th. You're right.
Public Works, Public Safety will meet April 28th, Tuesday, 4:45.
Labor, Kevin, do you want to cover that?
Labor will meet April 29th, 4:45.
And?
Oh, I'm sorry. There's another labor meeting Thursday, April 24th, 4:45.
45. Okay. And Community Development.
Thursday, April 30th, 4:45, City Hall.
Okay. The Mayor's Prayer Breakfast is coming up on May, well, you guys got me all mixed up on the dates now. Anyways, the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast is coming up. I invite everybody to attend the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. It'll be at Evangelical Free Church on the first Thursday of the month. I believe it's May 5th, but I'm not positive of that.
5th is a Tuesday.
And, May 5th is a Tuesday?
May 7th, Thursday.
Thursday, May 7th, 6:30 a.m., and I invite the entire council and the community to attend. Councilmember Nelson.
I had mentioned to Kevin the agenda for the labor meeting on the 23rd is not on our iPads correctly. It's under 2014 instead of 2015. If somebody's looking for it, it is there. It's just out of order.
Okay, so can you pull it up tomorrow, Kevin? Correct that?
We will correct that.
Speaker will be Michael Hawks. He was an individual who was kidnapped back in 1993 from his place of employment 2 days before Christmas, and was taken to Chicago and released in Chicago. That's who the speaker is. So thank you for asking the question. Councilmember Johnson, your motion's in order.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. We're adjourned.